Hello. Hi, Syrians. Hi. Hello. So yeah, that's a transition real quick, because I've just figured out I can do this. Ain't that cool? I can fade in. Yoink. Yeah, yoink. Yeah, yoink. So basically today, because I had a couple of people asking me on VRChat in general, like, how the fuck do you make a video world? And I'm like, well, it's easy. There's an SDK, and you take the prefab out of that one, and done. They're like, yeah, but how do you make buttons? And how do you make it synchronized? I'm like, well, that's a whole different other story. And then a couple of people asked me that, and I'm like, am I really going to help them 101? Which is going to take a lot of time, a lot of patience. I'm not gonna lie, as patient as I tend to be and hope to be, you know, I do run out of it sometimes. I do. So basically, I figured I could stream it. I haven't streamed in quite a while. So I'm kind of rusty. But I could stream it. I could definitely stream it. And that's what I'm gonna try. As far as I got this prepared, I see I get messages on my phone. Let me put that on don't disturb. There you go. That's been figured out now. So yeah, we are going to create a world in Unity. That's gonna be very easy to follow. And you can ask questions. Obviously, I will explain the actions I take and why I do them, so you can understand what I'm doing. And obviously, I'll answer all questions. And we're gonna make a video world, a very simple video world. I'm also going to run through the basics a little bit, just in case there's some things that you want to get figured out. It's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be a blast. I don't know how long this is gonna take. I mean, if I don't have to explain anything, I'm pretty sure I can finish it up in like 15 minutes. But I don't know. So we'll see how it goes. And we'll go from there. Easy. So basically, we're gonna start off by the start, right? We're gonna open up Unity Hub. And we're gonna assume that you at least know how to create a world to some degree. But if not, VRChat actually has quite an extensive documentation how to do this. So if you log into VRChat, so you know you're in VRChat.com and you log in, you know, it takes a little while. You got this download button over here. Do keep in mind, by the way, you need to be a new user or higher rank. So if you're a visitor, you cannot do this. Keep that in mind. And you can click here on download Unity, and it will open up a page, and you can use the Unity Hub, which I do recommend to use Unity Hub. So with the current version of Unity, they're on 2018.4.20 F1. So just follow this, and you should be good to go. That's basically it. All right. But for now, we're gonna download the SDK2 because we need it. It looks like I download a lot of shit, as you can tell. So we're just gonna plump it in there. It's gonna overwrite because I already have it. But hey, this is easier this way. So we're making sure that we got the SDK2 in this case, because that's what we're going to work with. I will eventually explain to you how to do it in SDK3, but that is a whole different scope. That's a lot harder. I am having issues with that as well, because Udon is not something to sneeze at. It's hard. It's infuriating. It's troublemaking. And yes, it's classic OBS. Yes, Garatina, definitely classic OBS. I just prefer it that way. That's just how I am. So basically, we start off like any project. We start off with a new one. In this case, we want to make sure it's the right Unity version, because I got multiple Unity versions installed because of my own projects, and you can see it says here create a new project with Unity 2020.2.1f1, which is the newest version, which VRChat does not accept. So we're gonna click on this little arrow key right here, and we're gonna pick up 2019. All right, now we're gonna need a nice little project name, and we want to store it somewhere. So I'm just gonna put it on my desktop because I'm a bad girl, and we're gonna name this VRChat video world. Doesn't really matter, it's just for your own. And you click create. It's just for your own documentation, really, so you know what project is what. It's also what the folder will be called, but that doesn't set the name of your world. Just so you know, it does not set the name. So we're gonna wait until it's done fetching the stuff it needs to fetch. This can take a little bit, depending on the speed of your computer. Now I am streaming, so if you see here, you know, it's using a bit of my CPU and RAM and, you know, internet and you know, graphics power. So I will be slowed down a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. That's all fine. That's all fine and dandy. So we've got this. It's great. It's empty. It's all empty. That's the first part of your world. Well, before we continue, obviously, we want to use the SDK that we downloaded a bit ago. We're just going to click it. You just have to click it. It will automatically open Unity for you, the one that you have open right now, and then you hit import. Again, this can take a while, depending on the speed of your computer, but in general, it should be reasonably fast, a minute or so. So go to the toilet, grab a sip of your drink, you know, stay hydrated. Let me take some Coke at me. There we go. And in the meantime, it's importing and compiling the scripts. The VRChat SDK is one that's typically quite takes a little while for it to load in, because it's a lot of things it has to compile. But once it's done, which takes a while, we can start off. So you can see we do get a warning that says it down here. You can see that by the console. These are quite a few warnings. It's VRChat, just clear. You know, if the warning is not there, there's nothing to worry about. Anyways, so we're gonna start off with the basics. This is empty. We cannot do anything with something empty. So we're gonna right click here on your hierarchy. On your left side, we got hierarchy as it says on the top left. We're gonna right click on there, 3D object, and a plane. Now we got a plane. Not an airplane, just a plane. So the thing with a plane is it is one-sided, so it does have a preference where you want to stick it up. It already comes with a mesh collider. That's great, we need that. And this is gonna be our base to walk on, pretty much, right? We want to zero this out though, however. Right now it's at a position that we can't really use, so we're just going to change the position of the X, Y, and Z axis to 0. So we're going to just zero it out. That's what I mean with zeroing it out. Set it to 0. This is the absolute 0 point of the map. Great. Now, before we're gonna do all the interesting parts, we have to add in you know, our VRChat prefabs. So for that, we're going to go to the VRChat examples, and we're going to prefabs 2. We have to put in our VRC world. This one makes it a VRChat world, so to say. So we just plump that in. Once again, we zero this out. Alright, so we got our plane, we got a directional light, VRC world, and main cameras. These are the default things that we need to start off. The plane, I mean, depending on what you want to do with your world, you don't necessarily need, but you're definitely going to need a VRC world. And lighting and stuff, that's something I will touch on in a bit, but for now, this is okay. before we continue further on, there's a couple of things we have to do first as well, because like VRChat works with layers, lots and lots of layers. I would love to explain to you what they all do, but I don't know, so it's as simple as that. So we're going to click here on VRChat SDK. If it has imported properly, this will pop up on your top left. You click on Show Control Panel. Now in this case, you can see my name. I'm not signed in right now. I will do that, but it will ask me for a code. So I'm gonna put this on the left side real quick so I can enter this without you guys seeing potentially the code, because you know, security and shit, you know. I like to keep my account safe. This is two-factor authentication, but you know, it's necessary. So once you logged in, and let's be honest, let's hope you got two-factor authentication enabled. If you haven't, please figure out to do so, because you don't want to lose your account. You just don't want to. So basically, we gonna hit up the builder, and it says here VRChat scene setup. We gonna do the setup layers for VRChat. Do it. All right. Set collision matrix. Do it. All right, now we got the automatic light map generation enabled, which we want to go not to have enabled. So we click auto fix. Now sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't, I will explain to you now. If it doesn't, all it does is opening this, and it's turning off the auto generate right here. If you can't see the lighting in here, because normally most people only have the inspector. If you cannot see lighting, you go to window. Then it is rendering lighting settings. It will pop up this, and you can grab it by the little tab, you know? You can grab it by the little tab. Oh god, this is unfortunate. Hold on. it yoinked away from me. Hold on. Let me do this real quick. Why does it do this? I hate this. There we go. Let me put my taskbar back. That's just Unity things. Yes, Ari, do it.
You're new around here, right?
Thank you for the follow, Ari. Thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So if you don't have that, just use window, and then you gotta go to rendering lighting settings, and then you unchecked auto generate. Once you got this here, you can grab this, put it in here nice and tight, because you're gonna need this a lot. I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna need this a lot. So now we got the basic layers done for the VRChat world. These are just to instantiate the VRChat world. From there we can continue. So we're gonna Control S, because Unity does tend to crash sometimes, and if you don't want your work to be gone, just hit Control S every once in a while. Good rule of thumb. So we got our plane, we got our VRC world. If we open an inspector, we got it right here. Now we got a couple things we can set up with the VRC world. What I like to do is right click on VRC world, 3D objects, sphere. This shows you better where the VRC world exactly is. If you're gonna put this out here, you know, as a 1x1, it's just a sphere, nothing special. But if we click on VRC world and then move VRC world, the sphere will move with it. Ain't that a neat trick? Now, obviously, we do not want the sphere to show up, so we're gonna uncheck this and uncheck that. So now we know we're slightly above the plane. That's what we want. So that way we know for sure that people, when they join in the world, they don't, you know, drop down the world. Now in this case, this is 0.67 or 68 meters high. These, you know, VRChat uses the metric system, even though it's digital. So we do not have the freedom units. You got lucky. D&D got cancelled. Well, I mean, I'm not sure if that's me getting lucky or you getting lucky, because you were one of the people who wanted to know how to make a video world. So, you know, this stream is, you know, you were one of the reasons why I'm streaming this. So, We're gonna place it a little bit higher, and then we can pretty much move it around where we want. But right now it's like nicely dead center, and 0.5 height is probably fine. We don't need very high or something, just above the plane, so make sure it doesn't go through it. All right, that's pretty much all we have to do for VRC World. I do like to use player mods, so VRC player mods right there. And we want to check is room player mods. We want to add mods. This way we can add in jump. You want people to be able to jump? We can add that. We want to change their speed so they can walk faster. We can do that. So by clicking those buttons, we have that. So the jump power is 3. I like to double it up. 6. Run speed is 4. I might want to have that as 6. Walk speed, let's make that at 3. Just 23 is a little bit more, and that one 3 as well. Just so that people can navigate a bit faster through the world. And that's all that this does. It's neat, it's easy, it's simple. All right. So now we want to have our video player in here. Now we could be like, oh, okay, video player, and then you have to plump in your video clip in here, which is going to make the file size quite big for VRChat, which I do not recommend. And it's not synced. It's not synced. Now, how about making it synced? Some people be like, all right, we can use VRC sync, maybe. And there's a couple options here. You have YouTube sync and object sync. It seems like the things we need, but we don't. No, just delete this. Okay, we don't need it. We don't need it. What we want is within the prefab still. Thank you, VRChat, for providing those. We have got VRC video sync. This is a synchronized video player, and this is exactly what we want. So VRChat kind of did the work for us. So we're gonna plump it in, like so. Gonna zero it out. And we have a 5.3 by 3 ratio, which is a 16 by 9 ratio. I know it's really weird. It's really weird. Trust me, it's 16 by 9. So this is our size. We're gonna move it up. As you can see, it was clipping through the ground. We're gonna move it up so it doesn't clip with the ground. And that's our player. Now that's great, isn't it? Well, we want to move that back so we get a more video world kind of static. See what I did there? And we got our video player in here. Ain't that great? Ain't that great? So we're already quite far in. So on the right, we got our inspector, which kind of shows you whatever is going on with the object that we've clicked on in the hierarchy, the plane or directional light or the sphere or VRC world. You know, in this case, our VRC video sync. We might want to adjust a few things here. So first things foremost, perhaps you do not want, or you want actually the video to play once it wakes up. You can do that. I recommend you not to, because it could potentially cause some lag. I'll just uncheck that. We do not want to loop. Looping technically should work, but for some reason it's kind of weird with VRChat SDK2, so do not bother. It's not going to work properly. We're going to skip and drop. That's fine. We have a playback speed. We're going to keep that on 1. Yes, we can actually fast forward if we want to. Then we got our audio tracks. In this case, it's sound right here, which is inside the video player. So if you click that, you see on the left, it highlights something. So if you click that, this is still a sound object. Now, there's multiple ways of going by with the sound. Right now, the range is a little bit meh. We got a massive range. Look at that. That's massive. But it might be a little bit weird. You know, maybe you just want it to be there always kind of thing. So we're going to go to advanced options here in VRC_spatial audio source and click advanced options. And it says here, enable spatialization. So we want to turn it off. That way, as long as they're within the bubble, they can hear it. Now, this distance is a bit big because this is way bigger than our world is. So we're gonna turn it down. And if we double click on sound, by the way, neat trick, it zooms in. But it's still big, it's still big. We don't need it this big. So 25, maybe 20. That's basically how we do things in VRChat. Just scale it down until it works. So now it pretty much covers it. I see the center point is not nice, so gonna yoink that to the center. Now we also have the middle ball. So the middle ball is absolute volume. So this is the loudest part it will be, and the more closer you go to the edge, the lower the sound will be. In our case, that's not an effect that we want. We want to enlarge this to cover the entire space. This way, it's always loud. Same volume wherever you walk. Ain't that nice? We could also be like max min 10 to max 10. You know, that works too. Whatever floats your boat, it doesn't really matter. All right, we got our sound. Now we have our time right here. Currently, it's disabled, but if we want it, we can enable it. Neat. Now we have a little timer there. Thank you, VRChat. Again, this is something they have implemented. This is not something we can implement ourselves easily. So thank you. It's kind of magical. So if we can click back to the VRC video sync, we have our VRC_sync video player script. It says a video search route is youtube.com. Max stream quality is 720. 720 is fine, by the way. For VR users, this is all you need. Desktop users, you might notch it up to 1080 if you want, but honestly, 720p is plenty for most people. Now we have our videos there. These are standard videos that come with the prefab. So in prefab, it's just a prefabricated kind of component, which, you know, VRC video sync is noted by the blue square next to it. We can just remove this, and we have a couple ways how to tackle our videos in this way in our world. So we have the way of putting it in our playlist, because this is pretty much our playlist, and we can just add a video and, you know, put it in there, and, you know, we can make fit inside. That's maybe a bit better. It looks nicer. We can put it in there. That's the old way of doing things. I do not recommend this. So if some of us might be around with VRChat for quite a while, and they remember probably that there was a time where you went into a karaoke world or whatever, there would be like this box in the center of the room or in the left corner of the room, like with Karaoke Central or some other worlds. You had to click a loud button first, and once you clicked on it, you had immense lag for the next couple minutes until it's done doing its deal. And that is highly dependent on your internet speed, how fast your computer is. So for some people, it could take up to 20 minutes, depending on how much data they had to load in. And that's not great, innit? That's actually quite awful. That's why we're gonna skip this. I'm not even going to explain to you how to do this, because it's bad. It's bad. Don't do it. Don't do it. Not worth the hassle. So what we got here further on is a VRC_trigger. It says send RPC play to VRC video sync, and your method is a VRC_sync a video player dot play. Targets is owner. Okay, this is an interesting one. So basically what it says right here, once the network is ready, we will play this once and always buffer the last one, and then we're gonna send a command out called play towards the video player towards the owner of the okay, this is something quite hard to explain how this works, but all in due time. This we don't need. We can remove this. Because we don't need this right now. We just yoink this away. We don't need it. Now, a better way to do videos, however, is to make buttons doing the work. And this is a nice one. So we got our ground right here. I'm actually gonna make a new empty. We're gonna make this the environment. And the environment in this case would be the plane. We're gonna make a new empty. We'll call this lighting. This is just good habits, you know? Just good habits to get everything in nice, neatly folders. We have another empty. We call this functions. In this case, that will be VRC world. And, you know, we could put this in there, but we don't need to. Now we have our camera. Again, this is also not that important. VRChat doesn't necessarily use this camera. We can make it that way, but we don't need to in the scope of this video, or this stream rather. But what we want to do is we want to make buttons. So we're gonna make a new empty. We're gonna call it buttons. I'm gonna zero that out, and I just now noticed that I forgot to zero the other stuff out as well. If we see here, it's not zeroed out, so we're gonna remove this out, zero this out. I forgot this. Sorry, this is my bad. That's the downside of live streaming this, I suppose. So we have to do the same with the lighting. Yoink this out of there, zero the game object, place directional light in there again, so that way it doesn't go all freaky on us when we're trying to move things. So same with the environment. Zero. Oh, whoops. Zero that one out. And put the plane back in there. Alright. Alright. It's going well. It's going well. Alright. Within our buttons, we want to make a 3D object. Now we can tackle this a couple ways. Pretty much everything that's an object can be a button. But in this case, and the most obvious one would either be a cube or a plane. Now, there's reasons why we would go with a plane instead of a cube. The reason why we go with a plane is because a plane uses less vertices, so it uses less render power. Now, granted, these objects don't use a lot of render power to begin with, but you know, wherever we can save, we should. So we're gonna make a new plane inside of buttons. If we click on it, it's huge. It's just as big as our world, which is what we don't want. So we probably want to size this down like that, and that's the z-axis. There we go. If we now double click it again, it's tinier. Tiny. Look at that. That's tiny. That is tiny. So now we want to flip it. We want to show it to the side. So we're going to use the rotation, and I always forget which one we need. Well, that's right way already. But we can see it's transparent right now, which we don't want. So we also have to flip it the other way. There we go. 180. 180. All right, and now we can place it wherever we want. So basically, depending on where we want it, we can place it anywhere. If we do this, eventually it's going to disappear like that, you know, because the screen is there. So we're going to move that to the side. So we have our button nice on the side right here. And it might be a little high. It's about 45 centimeters high, so we can lower it a little bit. There you go. Oh shit. Harry, thank you for the subscription. Oh my god. Thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome. Hi. Enjoy the one emote that we have. The one emote. I don't have more than that because I only have one. But hey, we have one. But thank you. Thank you for joining. I love you, girl. Love you. All right. Thank you. That's fucking. Thank you. Alright, it just seems really high to me. Is it just me? Am I being an idiot here? This seems quite high. So right now, I'm kind of like, what are the proportions here, right? And again, VRChat has thought about this. It has thought about it. You see here, tutorial avatar. VRChat tutorial avatar import. And we're gonna just plump that in. Oh, look at that. This is your average avatar size. If they're normal scale, not if they're lollies, but this is your average avatar size. It's your avatar size. Your average size. So this button is kind of small, isn't it? On that perspective. So we're gonna largen it up. So I think, oh, whoops. 5, 6, yeah. That's plentiful. Oh, this one could probably be a 1. And we make this a 6. Oh, whoop, that is a... There you go. That's a big button. That's a big button. So in this big button, we're gonna do a couple of things. So right now, we want to make a VRC underscore trigger. Not a trigger, a trigger. And we're gonna make it do a couple of things. Normally, things take time to load. I'm not gonna bother with that because there's a lot of things I gotta explain. So we are just gonna keep this simple. So we want to make a on interact, and that's right there, on interact add. Because once someone clicks on it, we want it to do something. Now we got always buffer 1. Don't use that. Do not use that. As it says right here, all are able to activate the trigger for everyone, and late joiners will trigger the most recent one. SDK2 and VRChat are a bit of a hit and miss in regards of buffers, and you do not want to abuse this. So what we want to do is that everyone can trigger this, but we don't want to save it. Always unbuffered. That means anyone who joins in later does not trigger it. And the reason why is because otherwise it can fuck up so many things, and we do not want that. So we want to keep it simple. Alright, within this, we're gonna add a basic event. It says basic event, but it's not really. We're gonna do a send RPC. So send RPC, I believe the RPC stands for remote protocol something command, remote protocol command. Right, there we go, remote protocol command. Alright, and we're gonna click on it. So it's highlighted like this, and we have receivers. Right now it says this game object. If this is empty, it always points towards itself. Even if we click on a plus right now, it should trigger itself. But we don't want that. We want it to trigger on our video player, which is on the right here. So we're gonna place this one in there. Alright, so now it's linked. We see a little line going from left to right to a video player. That means we got a connection with that. There's a connection. So we're gonna select what we want to do. We got a custom method right here, which we don't want to use. We want to add a URL. But before we do that, we have to think further. What if we press this button and there's already something playing? So that means we have to stop it first. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna hit stop. Now with the targets is again a interesting thing to explain, and it's also quite hard. Basically, whenever you create a new world in VRChat, and you go into that world, and you're the first one to be in the world, anything that's synchronized, you're the owner of. So if I were now to go into this world, I am the owner of this video screen right now. The owner is not the same thing as the master. because you can transfer ownership, you cannot transfer mastership without leaving. But in this case, we're gonna keep the owner. It's never gonna change, so because that way it's easier. So in this case, because the master is the owner in this case, and we do not want to transfer the ownership on the plane, or in this case, this is button 1. We wanted to target the owner of the screen. In this case, target where it says all. That's not a good idea. Target owner. Put it on owner. That way it will execute on the owner, not on anyone else, just the owner. So it will, right now it will stop the video player. All right, great. But now we want to add our video, right? No, not yet. What if we actually did stop a video right now? That means there's already a video loaded in, which means we have to remove that video first. So we're gonna hit the little plus icon right here again under actions. Go to basic events again and send RPC. We're gonna send another command. On send RPC, we click on that. We wanna point again to the screen. Now I can put a click on the plus right here. We can do that, but we can also, and this is a neat little function, click on VRC video sync, but hold down the mouse button and drag it on top of the word receivers, and it will automatically populate. Ain't that nice? Saves you like 3 seconds. So the method this time, we have stopped it. So now we have to remove the video we have got in here. So we're going to use VRC underscore sync video player dot clear. We're going to remove it out. And again, target will be owner. All right. Ain't that amazing? Ain't that amazing? Now, there's a couple things we now have to do. We now can add something, and then we want to play it, right? So we got our stop, we got our clear, and now we want to add. So basic event, send RPC once again. Send RPC, click on it. We're gonna drag our video player on the receivers, and the custom method is add URL. Gotta target again the owner. In this case, we have our URL right here. Now, I will need to use a video that should work. Sorry, I'm gonna use my own video because I just happen to know how to type that out. So in this case, it's 4.9.livekaraoke.com/vid is 0. There you go. Oh, I am blind. There you go. So this is the URL I put in right now. In your case, you could also put a YouTube video in there, and that will work too. And you can also use your Dropbox account if you got Dropbox Premium. Google Drive allows it too for direct linking a video file. You can do that too. So there's many ways how to save your videos. The downside of YouTube, however, is that sometimes this tend to break because of policies. That just happens. In regards of Dropbox or Google Drive, there are some bandwidth limitations going on. So there's also limitations in there. You pretty much want to find out a hosting program, a hosting company, if you want to host a lot of videos or do a karaoke world, because that's the only way how it's doable. That can be quite pricey. With my like karaoke right now, the costs are quite big. That's why I'm super glad to have patrons that helps me for paying that server. So this is how a VRChat world actually start to cost money. But if you're just going to use YouTube and you're okay with the occasional problems that it could cause, just go with YouTube. That's what I'm going to tell you. And it makes no sense to invest a lot of money in something that is not in use currently. Sorry. Yeah. So we're gonna put your URL in there. You know, your instinct might say, we want to play this. Yes, that's right. That's what we do. We do want to play this. But the thing is that it's not going to work like that. Wow, I had a brain fart right there. I had to think of how I'm going to formulate this. That was quite the brain fart. Woo, woo. All right. Sorry for that. Oh my God, I spaced out for a little bit. So basically, we got the URL in it, and VRChat be like, all right, cool. Let's load that. And that's the keyword, load. And it's time to load it in. And sadly, with SDK2, we do not get any feedback when it's done. So we have to guess. Now, I think with your average video, if it's not big, like a song, it takes maybe 8 seconds. And that's the rule of thumb. I usually go with 8 seconds. Now, you see here, we got a delay in seconds, interaction text. That's all great and fine and dandy. We're not going to bother with that right now. What we want to do is we want to take something different out of there. Now, I'm thinking, yeah. Right now, everyone would click on stop. Everyone would click on. We can put this always on buffered, or we can put this on local. That depends on how much usage you can use. But I'm not going to dive in that. So right now, we want to add a custom one. It says here custom already, and click on add. Now it's going to duplicate everything. That's very annoying. I don't know why they do it. They just do. And I see that my third screen is about to turn off. There we go. That's figured out now. I don't know why it does that. It's very annoying. So in this case, we have a new custom unnamed always buffer one. We want to put that to local. All are able to activate a trigger for themselves only. Okay. Now I might need to check real quick if we want to put this on local or always on buffered, but that's okay. I think I had it on always on buffered. I'm going to put this one on local because we do not want it to happen many times at the same time. So in this case, I mean, we have actually more ways to do this. This is why I'm spacing out a bit, because I'm thinking like, what would be the best way to execute this? And there's many ways of to do it. I would say local. That means the only one who's going to trigger it is the one who clicks this. So that way, this one has to be local as well. We can do that. Or because right now, once someone triggers it, it will trigger it for everyone, because always. So always is for everyone. And so it will stop clear add URL, which is maybe not the best thing of doing this. So I would say, let's make this a local. So they will trigger it for themselves and they will execute these commands towards the owner. I think that's a better way of doing it. That must be a better way of doing it. Yes. Now we got another one that we made, a custom unnamed local. This is here. We're gonna keep it in local still. We're gonna give this a delay of 8 seconds, and we're gonna call this play video. Now we're gonna remove these because we don't need these. These are bad. You know, shoot, go away. We're gonna add a new action, basic offense. Send RPC, just like the others. We're gonna click on it, and again drag in our video player in there. And on the video player, in this case, you want to say maybe play or next. Well, yeah, kind of. So we're gonna hit play and put this on the owner again. Now, if you're gonna try this right now, it won't work, obviously, because there's a couple more steps we have to do. But just play, sadly, isn't enough. Now, VRChat is picky on the order you do things, but we can always switch the order up if I am making a mistake right here. Now we're gonna add another basic event, another send RPC. We're gonna click on that again. Once again, drag over the video player. You're gonna set the custom method to next and to owner. There we go. Now I think the next should be above the player, so we can move that up like this. We can move that up, so we're moving that up. So now we have a partition that will stop the video, clear the video out, add the URL, and then nothing. We have a custom, as I called play video, that sends an RPC for next and play. Now we have to make them combine this. We got the delay in seconds on 8, because that's what we expected for it to take to load a video. And that's on purpose. So that's great. But now we're gonna go back on our own interact local. I'm gonna click on the plus, basic events. And on the top, and this is finally something different, activate custom trigger. I'm gonna click on that. Now, right now, because it's empty, it's gonna trigger itself. And we can keep it empty. And right here, this trigger will target the game object it's on because the receiver list is empty. So in this case, it will target itself, which is great. That's exactly what we want. So name, it doesn't say anything, does it? Too bad. So we wanna grab that button, the same button that we're working on, drag it into there. There you go. Now we get our list, which in this case is play video. That's all we want to add in. So we're gonna add the activate custom trigger, and then on the receiver we're gonna drag our own button in there, and there's only one option there: play video. Now basically, in theory, this is all we need. This is all we need in theory. In theory, this should work. So we're gonna save. We're going to go to VRChat SDK. We're gonna do a local test, see if it works. Number of clients, 1. We're gonna force non-VR because I do not want to turn my VR on. And we click on build and test. Again, this might take a little while depending on how fast your computer is. And also how big your project is. Right now, the project is quite small, so it should be fast. Should be fast. There we go. It's starting the game. You can hear VRChat. There you go. You can hear it. And we're already in our world. We have our soft, ugly shadows. We got our custom avatar. It's not really custom, honestly, let's be honest. And we got a whopping 150 FPS because it's super simple. Once another person adds in, by the way, it's gonna be horrible. I will explain that in a bit. But we got a button right here, and if we click it, this is where the owner in 8 seconds it should play a video. It should. There we go. It's playing. Here Without You, 3 doors down. Now because of DMCA, let's mute that real quick. Let's mute that real quick because DMCA, we do not want that. And to see if it still works properly, we're gonna click it again. It's gonna stop the video, and then in 8 seconds, and we can check that out in a bit. But in 8 seconds, it's gonna play it again. Look at that! Look at that! And it took us what? How long? Okay, it took an hour, I suppose. Did it take an hour? No. No, I've been live for an hour. 20 minutes of which I'm like starting student screen and like saying hi to people. So I think, yeah, we've been at it for like 30, 40 minutes or so. So now we got our basic button to play a video in a video world. I mean, basically we are done here. You know, we just if we gonna exit VRChat right now and go back to our Unity project. Basically all we have to do is you know, move this button a bit to the left and click on the button, Control D to duplicate it, then move it to the right. If you hold down Control while moving, by the way, it moves a consistent amount away, but it uses a bit more space like that, so we gotta move it a little bit closer. All right, now we have duplicated the exact same action. It's great. I love the fact that we can do that. It saves a lot of time. Imagine having to recreate all the buttons every time. So now we might want to have this button do something different. So send RPC at URL. We're going to change this to, I don't know, 50? Number 50 in this case. Now we have 2 videos in there. Ain't that great? We're going to duplicate again. 69. Nice. Put that in. So now we got 3 videos, 3 random videos. I don't know what they represent. I have no clue. I cannot remember for the sake of my own fucking memory. Because I got over 550 videos on that server. That is just songs, let alone the movies that are on there. Oh god, dude. I cannot remember that all. So now we have our 3 buttons. Now there's definitely, you know, a couple things we have to do. We maybe want to have text on there, you know, saying what it is. Well, there's a couple ways we can do it. We can do it the character central way, which is adding an image, and we can do it the light karaoke way, which is adding text on top of it to make it easy to read. Now, so the character central way is we have our interaction text here. Right now it says use. We're gonna change this to video 1. And in this case, we're gonna change this to video 2. And this one to video 3. And that's how you can do it. Once if you're in game and you hover over it, it will give you the tooltip video 1, 2, 3. You could do that, and then we could make materials. So we're gonna do assets, create a new folder, materials, and we're gonna make a new folder, textures. All right, and we're gonna download some materials, the textures rather. So we're just gonna go to Google. We might want to use give me a video. There we go. We just want a generic picture. There we go. That's brilliant. Save that image. We're gonna go to VRChat video world, inside assets, inside textures, video 1. Now I can put a picture in there. I'm gonna go in the folder materials within Unity. Create material, video 1, because that's our first video. Integrate, and albedo right here. We're gonna populate that. So we're gonna click on textures right here on the left side of your project, and then we have our texture right here. I'm gonna drag that in there. Ain't that beautiful? Go back to materials, grab the material, put it on the button. Now we have also a visual indicator of it, and we could make another one and another one, and then we could grab different pictures. We want our square pictures in this case. In tools, can we? Yeah, I will take this one. That one, and Don't know what this all is, but I'm just grabbing some random images from the internet. This is not something you should do again because the MCA, but this is just for purposes. We've got 2 pictures right here. We're gonna go to our material, video 2. We're gonna drop that one in. Go to materials again, video 3. We're gonna change to this one. There we go. Now we have 3 different materials. We can pop this one on video 2 and video 3. There we go. 3 different ad indicators. This is the character central way of doing a button. I say it that way because I have no other clear example of who does it like this. I just happen to know this is how Character Central does it in regards of buttons. Now they use cubes instead of planes, but the principle stays the same, and the principle stays very much the same. Now, there's a couple optimization things that we can do. Obviously, we don't want people to spam the button, so in here, we might want to change things a little. We might want to. So what we're gonna do is add a little thingy, and we add another custom. We call this hide buttons. Right now, I'm gonna hide these buttons. Or actually, yeah, no, we can do it like this. Yeah, that works too. Hide buttons, and we're gonna delay in seconds set that to 0. I don't know why it keeps copying over all the shit. I don't know why. This one will be always buffer 1 in this case. Always buffer 1. The reason why is because this time, once we as a person click on a button, we want to hide the buttons for everyone. So in this case, we're gonna hit the plus sign, basic events, and we gonna do where is it? If I see it, set game object active. Gonna click on that. We're gonna add the game object. We could do the individual buttons, we could do that, or we can do all the buttons. This is why I put things in folders. You can drag it in there. And we set the operation to false. That way, it turns it off. So once someone clicks on it, it will be turned off, all the buttons. That's great. That's great, we can do it that way. Then, we also want to activate this set trigger. So in here, we gotta send up receipt and shit. So we're gonna add basic events, activate custom trigger. In this case, the custom trigger will be on the button itself again. And it will be hide buttons. But in this case, because this one takes 8 seconds, it will mean once we click on this button, it takes 8 seconds for it to hide. Because it's gonna do this one first. So that means we have to put this higher here. Or we can put this all the way up. We can do this first. That's usually what I do, so I make sure everyone gets the commando to hide all the fucking buttons. Because this is due to synchronization, you want to prioritize something like anti-spam first. So we're gonna do it like that. Put the hide buttons on top. This way it will hide the buttons when someone's press it. Now that's great, but we also want to unhide the buttons. Now we can do this differently. I'm gonna click on the VRC video sync. And we have our VRC underscore trigger right here. We're gonna add a on video end. And then we click add. On video end, always buffer 1. Delay in seconds 0. I want to make sure it's on always buffer 1. The reason why is because here we also set always buffer 1. That means that everyone that's in there will hide the buttons, but also the person who joins in later, the button will be hidden for. So they can't overwrite the song or the video. And in this way, in this moment, we want to unhide it. So we want everyone to unhide the buttons, and also the last person who, the person who enters in later, they probably want to use the buttons if nothing is playing. On actions, we're gonna add the plus sign again, basic events, set game object active. I'm gonna click on that, I'm gonna drag in all the buttons in there, and we set it to true. Great, once the video's over, it will do that. But now you have to wait until the video is over, right? That's not a great way of doing it. That's not a great way. That's not a great way. So what I tend to do is also add another one. On a video start, we add that too. And it is gonna do the same. Gonna do the same. Now we can add a lock button. Ain't that neat? Ain't that neat? But before we do that, do understand that we made it in here. The activate custom trigger, play video, and we got the hide buttons. If you click on the other buttons, they don't have that. So obviously you want to do everything you need to do on the first button first. So now we're going to delete these two. And we're going to duplicate those. And we're going to move them from side to side. So they all have the same functions. And in here, activate the add URL. I'm going to change it to 50. And the other one to 69. There you go. I'm gonna put the materials back on there. It's not in the same order, but whatever. That doesn't really matter in this case. Doesn't really matter. So now we have a spam protection. Right now, once someone is pressing a button, someone else cannot press a button. And once the video has loaded and started, it will stop doing that and hide the buttons again. But what if you want to lock it in anyways? So this is why we got the functions folder. Going to add a 3D object. In this case, I would do a cube because we want to make it visible from all sides. It's nice in that center. We're gonna size this down a little bit to half size. You don't need it too big. Half size is all you need. Gotta put it a little bit up, and we're gonna put a component on this VRC trigger. And we call this a on interact. We add this. Now in this case, we want it to trigger for everyone and always buffer 1. And click on the plus, basic events. Set game object active, click on it. And then the buttons, we gotta put that in there and put it on false. Now we could give this a name. We're gonna call this lock video. And now we also have a way to manually lock the video. Now, we also probably want to hide the button because there's no point in clicking it once it's already done. So we also want to add in itself in the receivers so it deactivates itself. Gotta rename this, by the way, to lock video. And that's great. But now we also might want to, maybe someone accidentally pressed the button and nothing is playing. Now we're in trouble. Now we are in trouble. So we want to make another cube. We're gonna move this a little bit to the side. Gonna make another cube. Size that down again. 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. And we're gonna put this on the same height because that's nice. Nicer. There you go. Move a little bit to the right. Add component VRC trigger. Here's where it gets interesting. we have a custom here on interact. We can change that on interact. Click on add. In this case, we only want the master to be able to click it. Only the master. Because otherwise everyone can override it. We don't want that. Master buffer 1. We got that. So the master is the one who's the first in the world, or the longest in the world, rather. That's always the master. And that means that only one person is in control. Ain't that nice? So master buffer 1 means only the master is able to activate the trigger for everyone, and late joiners will trigger the most recent one. Ain't that nice? And we can add here a action, basic events, set game object active, and we're gonna plop in the buttons, set it to true. Gonna plug in the lock video, and that's true. This is the unlock video. There we go. Now we have set that. But maybe we want to make this a little bit more interesting. Visually appealing. So we're gonna make 2 more materials. We're gonna make a create material. This is the freeze button. That's what I call it. We're gonna give it a color, blue, because blue is cold and means frozen. Gonna plop it on that. We're gonna make a unfreeze button material. This is unfreeze. I tend to make this like an orange or a red. I think orange is a bit more appealing than a red, so I'm gonna put an orange on there. There you go. Now I have a visual indicator. We can put this to the 0 on the x-axis. Gonna put this one also on the 0 on the x-axis. We're gonna automatically disable this one, the unlock video. Click on lock video and add another plus, basic events, set game object active. The reason why we make another one is so we can trigger the unlock video button, and we set this to true. This way, when someone clicks on freeze, it will hide those buttons right there, and will also hide itself while it unhides the unlock video button. Now this also means we have to do the same for this one. So we gotta click on add basic, set component active, a game object active. We have here, it makes the buttons available and the lock video button available, but it also needs to set itself unavailable. So we put this in there, set this to false, and that's what we need. So now if we load in, and we're going to try this, click on build and test, it will open up VRChat automatically with the world. This is without uploading, by the way. This is how I usually test my my updates first, to see if it's basically working. I'm gonna load in, and we are in our beautiful world. And right now we're standing on top of the cube because that's our spawn point. If we click on the lock video, it will hide those buttons and make it orange. But it's not the same button, it's just visual. It looks like a new button, the same button. If we click it again, because I am the master currently, and I can show you that in VRC, you see a little crown on the top left near my name. I can show it better. So on the top left of my name right here, oh, this is a really bad pointer. Really bad pointer, you can barely see it, I think. But it's right there. So I'm the master, I can unlock it too. There you go. If we click on a video, like this one, it's gonna hide. And in 8 seconds, it's gonna play. I say in 8 seconds it's gonna play. Did I make an oopsie? Did I make an oopsie? Now, I think I made an oopsie. Can check what's going on. Ah. Ain't that an interesting one? So it does execute it just doesn't play it. Now the question is, why is that the case? Why is that the case? So if we click on it, it should have played it, loaded it, but it doesn't. And I think it has to do with the fact that our order is wrong. Our order is wrong. This is why the build system is so important. So we're gonna hit exit VRChat. Go to our buttons and we're gonna change a little thing. So we might want to put this there and do that with all the buttons. Because I only have 3, I'll do it manually for each instead of copying them over. This might fix it. So the thing is with actions, and they have to be in order, in a correct order, otherwise they won't work properly.
You're new around here, right?
Oh, that's loud. Welcome, Avalian lover. Welcome to the stream. So right now we it's Ava. Oh, hello, Ava. Ava, hello. Ava, okay. So right now we've changed the order to see if that helps with our issue. We're gonna click it. It's gonna hide. This is going to play, however, in 8 seconds. Custom play video. Yes, there we go. So that's what I mean. So the order is super important in whether you do your actions. I want to make a VRChat Pokemon world. Would you collab? I normally would say yes. But right now I am loaded, like swamped into work with my own worlds. So I doubt I will have the time. So depending on when and what you want me to do, I can help out. So feel free to join my Discord or add models. I mean, I'm able to rig up some models here and there, surely. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, just hit exclamation Discord in chat, and you should be able to join my Discord. This is my personal Discord. It's not the light karaoke Discord. But now you see it works, and we can do the other buttons as well. And in 8 seconds, it will play the video for us. It will become a private world though, because it has something more fun to do. Oh. Oh god, oops, I did it again with from Spheres. Like it works. There you go. So that's basically how you make a video world in SDK2. Now you did notice when I click this, this didn't change. That's because we would have to interact with that. It's the same principle as with the button there, which had another game object active on these as well to also trigger these, basically. But that's basically how it would go down. Same principle. Now there's a lot more things you could do to make it perform better and how to reduce lag. Now right now it's fairly simple, and if we got a lot of people in here, we could run into some potential issues. And the biggest issue right now is because this world is not optimized. So I'll show you a couple things what you can do to optimize your world. Because oh well, hello. Yes, I am trans. Yes. You can't chat about here because of the TOs. Yeah, I understand that part. Yeah, that's yeah. That was a good, smart. Yeah, so yeah, I'm trans. I'm transsexual. I'm female. I'm on hormones, and still working on my voice, though. As you can tell, it's feel quite low and rumbly still. It's quite a bit higher than what I used to, but it's mostly because of my enthusiasm and I changed my way of speaking. You're pansexual. I'm as far as I'm aware, I'm lesbian. So you like my voice. Oh, thank you. That's so nice of you. That's so nice of you. Thank you. Alright, so basically how to optimize your world in regards of resources, because right now we have one light. Now usually that doesn't really bring a problem because it's only one, so that's not too bad, but once you got like 10 people in here, it's going to make a issue in this case, because we got shadows. In this case we got even soft shadows, which are the worst of everything. We gotta make these either hard shadows, and it makes it look better for some reason, or no shadows, because let's be honest, nobody fucking cares about shadows eventually. They just want a decent working world. So this is our world light. We're gonna call this world light, and we gonna make the static. Before we can make the static though, we gotta make other things static. So we got our environment, we gonna make that static. Yes, change children, which means everything inside is now static as well. We gotta make this static, and also the children. We don't want the functions to static, this one in this case, or the buttons, and these we don't want to make static either, because we interact with these. You're there now. Okay, good. Welcome to the Discord. I can probably see, yeah. Oh, whoops. That's a private chat over there. I should have known that one. Whoops. Hi. You want a not safe for work role? I don't have a not safe for work role. I don't have one. Because I don't really do that. I am a wholesome person, believe it or not. People don't believe me whenever I say that. That's probably because of the way how I joke around, but I am actually quite wholesome. Sorry. So right now we have turned off the shadows and we made things static. The world light is right now is on mixed. We want to make that baked. That's easier for VRChat or for someone to render. Render mode, we want to make it important though, so we don't want it to be forgotten, and we do not want to use everything. We don't want to light up everything, so we don't care for post-processing. We don't call for reserved. We don't care for nothing, and then everything is black. And we want to care for the default, which is the world itself. In this case, it only lights up the world, which is fine, but we also probably want to do mirror reflection if you want to mirror in the world. Don't forget that one. We want this. And the player and player local is not that important right now. But you might be like, once you join the world in now, you'll be black because the avatars are not lit up. So for the avatars, we're gonna create a new light. Another direction light. It's pretty much the same one as this. So we could actually just duplicate this one and call this avatar light. So the light matches. In this case, we're gonna make this real time. We're gonna call this with nothing except player local and player and mirror reflection. This one is important. If you do not do mirror reflection, the light will not show up in the mirror. The render mode, we're gonna put this to not important. So we only render light on the avatars if we have the resources to spare. What does wholesome mean? Sorry, I'm from Iceland. So wholesome pretty much means that I am not lewd. That's wholesome. I am not lewd. I am not sexual. I make jokes like stuff like that, but that's jokes. Those are jokes. I don't really do lewd actions, like actual proper lewd actions. You're lewd sometimes. Okay, I mean, to each their own. I'm just not. You joke at this also, yeah. I joke about it a lot, and I think that's why people think I'm nude. I think that's the reason why. So yeah, you know, I am wholesome though. I'm wholesome. So right now we got our world light static. Our avatar light is real time. We do not want the avatar light to be static. There we go, because this is real time, so that wouldn't work. We're gonna click on our lighting tab right here. We're gonna make sure that real-time global illumination is turned off. We want a baked global illumination, what's already here. And we could do progressive CPU. Gives a better result, but is slower. We got 3 options here. We got enlighten, which uses the CPU. This is the best way of doing it. It gives the most prettiest results. But we also have progressive GPU. This is faster in general, because the GPU is really good at rendering graphics. Who'd have thonked it? Graphics processor is good at doing graphics. Oh fucking hell, that fucking scared the crap out of me. Thank you for the video there. That got me heart pumping. Oh god. Oh man. Oh. That got me heart pumping. Oh, that was loud. Oh god, that was loud. Thank you for the video though. My god. Oh, it got me shaking. You got me shaking. Fucking hell, mate. You got me shaking. Oh no. At least not like mine with the phasma sounds and them being free currently. Oh. I might need to abuse that once you're alive again. I might need to abuse that. I might need to. Jim so many times because friends abuse it. Yeah. It's fun though. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun. It's very fun. Anyways. So we use the progressive lighting. We can tweak these settings. They're not too important. They don't give you too much of a difference. The higher the direct samples and stuff like that, the more it takes to render. I do try to change the bounces. So the more bounces, the more the light reflects out of objects, and it gives a more realistic tone to it. So in this case, we're going to click on generate lighting. This can take a while, but since this is a small world, it shouldn't take too long. There you go. Now we got very even lighting. Now we notice that the buttons are not lit up, and we might want to actually, so in this case I might actually make the buttons static. This is something I do in my world as well. I just make them static even though they're not, and just generate the lighting in there. There you go. There you go. It looks better. Looks better already. So right now we have a light map that is like below 50 kilobytes per second. If you go to my light karaoke world, for example, if I do not compress the lighting map itself is like 50 megabytes, which, you know, jumps up the size of the world, obviously. But we got our static light, and if we now run it, it's even lighter on our computer. And also on other people's computer. That means that we have a lot more resources we can allocate to other people that are joining in the world, which causes less lag. So this is how to ensure yourself a high frame rate in your world. It's very basic. Lighting is one of the most important things you can optimize. So, you know, see, it's nice and wide. We got our buttons that we can click, and then eventually we'll play, and you know, yeah, there you go. So what I'm doing right now is right shift, tilt on the left, and then 3, and it opens this. You need to have the debugging console, the name builder, and you can Google that on how to do that with VRChat. I can also show you in a bit, but It's really handy if you want to see what's going on with your world and if everything is working properly. Right now I can see, for example, we had a VRC trigger internal play video custom, and like we'll execute, and obviously local on video sync for Yimiki. You know, in this case, if someone would join, it's synced up. This is a really easy way. Just imagine having 550 of them. And it takes quite a while to fill them all in. Which I can show you, actually. I can show you. So, to give you a little idea what I was dealing with, because now I am gonna go to Udon, like here for Udon. We got the older version right here. Is that the right one? Yeah, it must be. Yes. This is what it used to be for me. This is my karaoke world, the version that's currently live. There you go. This is the currently live version. Takes a little while to load in. Because I got reflection probes and whatnot. So in this case, you see that the buttons by default are disabled. I do that for lag purposes. So yeah, this is obviously a lot bigger. There's a lot more going on, and you know, here, light map, 40 megs. This is compressed. Welcome back, Eva. Eva. Eva or Ava? One of the two. Welcome back. So yeah, this is 40 megs to give you an idea. So, you know, it's just a world, you know, it's just a world. And it's a little bit more, you know, extra. If you look at the functions, we got the karaoke handler. It's same principle to some degree. I just try to keep things clear. So we you know, have the load later and stuff like that. I'm not gonna explain all this because this even gives me headaches. We got more in here, you know. Section everything out because that way it's easy for me to work with and to call the same function maybe again if I need it. Kingdom Hearts fan, yes, definitely. Very much a Kingdom Hearts fan, yes. So yeah, you too. Cool. That's great. So yeah, this is basically what you can do with it if you experimented a little bit with the instructions I gave you right here to make a simple world. The principles are the same. It's just a different shell. Same software, different shell. We're going to upload this actually. And the reason why we would upload this is because VRChat or VRChat worlds tend to behave a little bit different in the build and test function versus the online version, so actually live. So we're going to do build and publish for Windows. Got to name the world My Video World. There we go. The above information is accurate and I have rights to upload this content to VRChat. Nobody fucking cares about that, but in this case I do actually, so you know. And we see upload image, it's very bland, we don't know what's going on. Here's another little trick. Go to your scene. Go to an angle that you think like, okay, this gives a good idea of what everything is. Click on your hierarchy. And click on the VRC cam. This wasn't there before. This is something that VRChat adds for you once you click on build and publish. And then we're gonna go to game object right here. Align with view. There you go. Now if you click on game again for the upload configure world, look, it changed. Now we have a better overview of how it looks. And I gotta hit upload. Since this world is tiny, it shouldn't take long. You're more of a Pokemon fan girl. Okay. Wait, aren't you technically a Pokemon fanboy then? Or wait, what? No, I'm confused. Weren't you trans male, like female to male? I'm a little bit confused. I go lie. All right, let's launch this in non-VR mode. It has been uploaded now. I'm gonna go to my worlds. Okay, that's my video world. It's only like half a megabyte big. Oh, ain't that fucking great? That's fucking cool. Click and go. You know, I'm gonna check it out real quick. Right, and we're in the world, and it's live. And we're gonna click a button, see what it does. Is it going to play the video or not? Is it? Or not? Well, we'll see in a bit. There we go. It's playing. I think it works fine. And we're gonna click another video. It's number 69. Whatever song that might be, I don't know. I honestly have no idea. Jar of Hearts, Christina Perri. That's a pretty good song. Actually, that's actually quite a good song. So yeah, no, this is basically how it is. It's basically what it is. So that works. That works. Works as intended. And that's how you make your own video world. Now, obviously, if you would do a movie world, it would be a little bit different. So if it's not just simple songs, that, you know, karaoke kind of thing, if it's a movie, then in that case, we want to change a few things, which we can do now. So if you go into VRC Video Sync, you want to play on Wake, and we don't necessarily have to wait for it to load. So in the button itself, you can click in here as well. We maybe want to put this on like 5 seconds instead, and then we're just gonna let it play regardless. Let's try it, and then it will try to play at least. That will be a better way, and then again it will unlock the buttons once it's started. So that's basically it. That's how you make a video world in SDK2. That's all to it. So that's how you make a video world in VRChat. If you joined in later, this video will be available as a VOD, as I use non-copyrighted, royalty-free music. I don't have to worry about the whole VOD stuff and DMCA. So it will exist as a VOD. Be sure to watch it back if you want to. I might upload this to YouTube on the Light Karaoke YouTube channel, so people can understand how to be doing this. I will eventually, if I have it properly noted down, I'll eventually also explain how to do it in SDK3. SDK3 though is a whole different fucking monster. It's not easy, and I'm struggling with it as well. It does require some programming knowledge, but you know, I can help you there. You can also use the noodle system, but I hate the noodle system personally because it makes it very, very chaotic quite fast. Yeah, I will see you all next time. Thank you for watching.